Oil prices continued the push higher today, hitting 5-month highs despite stronger rig counts in the U.S. So it's really become a geopolitical issue as opposed to a fundamental one that we've been seeing oil trade on. Now, oil has continued to trade higher going back to those December lows. Remember, we were trading about $42 a barrel. Now things have really reversed. We're closer to 65. It's been pretty much a straight shoot, and the trend remains well in place. I think 65 is going to find some resistance, but I think if we bust through it, the next stop is going to be closer to 70. At this point, though, it becomes very much about the peace or non-peace that we're seeing in the Middle East. We've already seen what the production cuts can do, and that is why we're seeing this massive reversal from the sell-off we saw in late 2018. It has really rebounded. We're a little over 50% of that retracement, and we will continue to do so. 65 and 70 should be pretty good resistance levels as we move forward. The dollar actually helped a little bit today. The dollar posting slightly lower marks. But really hasn't really affected the oil trade as much. It's been more about supply and demand over there. The dollar trade obviously seeing a modestly weaker dollar ahead of FOMC minutes, where we had last meeting, obviously very dovish Fed statement and press conference. So we'll get into the details of that when we get that number on Wednesday. But certainly right now, it seems that the dollar, while sitting near year-to-date highs, has not been a factor in the oil trade. And lastly, let's look at the positioning. Speculators continue to add, and yes, they are at about as long as they were back in October of 18. So it's kind of one-to-one here as we see oil rally. We see speculators continuing to add. I don't see any reason for them to sell here. If we do hit up against some resistance, you may see some speculators taking profits at near the 65 level. But the way this trend is going, I don't know if you want to wait and see if we get a little bit of a pullback that would be followed through with more buying. I think at this point it becomes very volatile if we push through 65. So right now, speculators continuing to keep this market propped up. But if they start getting out, things could change very quickly in the short term. But the long term seems to be we're going to be targeting that $70 oil before too long.